Stanley investigated several things. He actually built a complete mechanical child that was a complete disaster. The mechanics of what we can do today cannot simulate the liquid movements of, let's say, computer graphic animation. But CGI also has not yet reached a state of the art where it can replicate a human being. We mixed it a bit in Jurassic Park where the animals were CGI and the people, of course, were not. And Shrek is all CGI, and that's an art form unto itself. But to put a digital boy in amongst a cast of human beings photographed on 35 millimeter, we're still years away from that technologically. Stanley knew that, and I certainly appreciated that, so it was really time to cast an actor to play a machine. And Haley Joel Osment was my first and last choice.
First time we had a meeting, he only mentioned the title. The first time we met, he hadn't finished the script. We just met and had just a conversation, about travels in Europe and everything. It was just casual. And the second time, after he'd finished the script, we met actually in this room, I think. And he talked about the script. And after reading it, that was it. Immediately wanted to do it. Getting to work with Steven on a script, which was fantastic. And after that, we got everything worked out, and we were on the project. We talked with Steven a lot about to what extent would we make him robotic.
He's so real. But he's not.
No, he's not.
We actually progressed the character through the film so that by the end of the film, he's basically human. Inside he's a robot, but his actions and everything are human. He develops throughout the story. Everything that he experiences makes him less robotic and less mechanical. So at the beginning of the story, it's not like dun, 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 dun. It was just very simple. We wanted to make the actions very simple and not practical or human like if you were in a chair, you'd sit down and David always have perfect posture and he could sit there for several hours or more. And another thing which was really hard was I didn't blink once in this film. And that was a really interesting effect to it. Not even when he gets to the end and he starts acting really human, there's no blinking. And so that was a little tough to do.
David, the most wonderful thing in the whole world has happened.
We shot the first part of the movie in continuity. In the house, it was all in continuity. But then, of course, when we got to shooting all the action sequences and the flesh and everything, we had to get out of it.
You have to move around behind him like that? Good, like that.
We actually did the underwater stuff first, and that was fun. I got to learn how to scuba dive on this film, because we had a lot of parts where I'm underwater. We had to do scenes where I'm sort of sinking and had to learn to hold my breath for long periods of time and then get on a regulator while I'm sinking because I have lots of weights on. There are a lot of different things I had to learn before I could do this film. It turned out to be a really cool experience because we got to do all these great things in just one film.
Right legs, going again.
It could be more this way, more to your left.
Are you? First thing that would happen, getting there is makeup. That got down to where we could get the makeup on in half an hour. And the whole day, you had to be careful on what you do with your face and your hands because it had this wax on it that if it was damaged, you would see the skin beneath and it wouldn't look as plastic and shiny as it's supposed to be, so we had to be careful with that. I had school on the set 3 hours a day. Studies, they're setting up for a shot or doing a shot that I'm not in. I'd go to school and study, and then when they need me, I go back and I work, and that's fun to do, working and doing school at the same time. Hey. Dad and I, every night before we go to work the next day, we prepare for the scene. We're always ready before we go there. Dad, he's been acting for a long time. He helps me get into the character and understand everything that's going on, the subtext, and how the storyline incorporates into each scene. And that makes me give a better performance than I could, all on my own, with so much help from Steven and Dad and myself, and the collaboration really made the role better than I ever could myself.
Okay. Thank you. And roll it. Haley is an amazing actor. I mean, he's one of those actors, at least from my perspective, that you're in the middle of a scene with him and you're watching him and you're going, God, that's really amazing. You know, I dropped out. A few times I just dropped out just looking at him. He's able to play this phenomenally difficult role of a robot that doesn't have emotions yet is programmed to have emotions. I mean, it's, I don't know how he does it.
And not too long of a pause after she told you about it.
He figured out this fantastic kind of logic to his character, so you did feel in some ways that you were playing against something that wasn't real, which was really interesting. I mean, especially for such a young kid to pull that off.
Try to go through all of us. Good.
Yeah.
And all will be right with the world because you held my hand and saved my brain.
I just approached him like an actor that I was going to work with, you know, and that was it. And what was great was I had great fun because he is 12, he likes the same things that I like. Here we are, centre stage. I've always been a great fan of comics and cartoons and kids' films, and I'm just a lover of them, I guess. I'm searching for the child in me, or I am just a very kind of infantile grown-up, I don't know, but working with Haley was just, for me, from day one, like working with any other actor I've worked with.
It really felt like a buddy movie because, you know, Jude and I got to be really good friends while we're shooting and doing all the fun stuff, you know, the action stuff together and all the cool technical things we got to do.
I was.
AI has a little bit of Pinocchio in it, and Teddy is the Jiminy Cricket to David's Pinocchio, you know. Obviously, toys will get a lot better in the future, and little kids like imagine that their toys are alive, and here you have a toy that's actually moving and alive, reacting and everything. A lot of intricate work going on with him, and that just makes him so alive. I mean, you just completely forget that he's a puppet. He's very heavy, too. A lot of scenes I'm carrying him around, you know, running away from everything a lot. And, you know, you have to carry this 20, 30-pound bear everywhere because he's got a lot of machinery inside him. Let's not walk this way. Working with Stan's fun. We had a lot of work with him going on in the months before shooting. We had a lot of pre-production things to do, getting life casts of my entire body, my feet, my hands, my chest, and my head and everything. The face cast was probably the weirdest because they put all this stuff on your face and the only thing that's open to the air is your nostrils so that you can breathe. And I saw pictures of myself while I was under it and it just looks like a mummy because like they put this whole cast and this glop all over your face and everything, and that was fun to do. They use the cast to make other me's, you know, dummies and everything. They match me completely. And when you have one of them in like a pose, you know, frozen actually looks like the real me and it's pretty creepy. But the work with Stan is fun, you know, especially the table scene. We had the trick table for the part where they opened me up for the surgery. That made the movie more fun. It added another part to the movie.
You made a mess of yourself.
It's a futuristic movie, but we wanted to make it as close to home as possible. We didn't want to go into all the high-tech gadgets and everything, but we wanted to have the advancement of the future, of course, in the movie, but we also wanted to have the heart of the film in it and to still have it come to life for the audience and have it be as real as possible for them.
All right.
Okay. See you tomorrow, buddy.
And Stephen was great at making that real for everyone.